Yo, welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a little minute, but just like excuse that, I can't lie. Like he's gotten moved past that. Like shit happens. Like life be happening, man. But like I'm back. I promise I got y'all with some new videos. Like I'm already start cranking them out. Now the season started, I'm gonna start cranking them out. So don't even worry. I'm gonna be back, and I'll try not to dip for that. So the video for today I got is, for me, the 5 most surprising teams so far into this NBA season. I know we only like 5 games in, but I just want to do them 5 most surprising teams. Can't lie, for this video, I might not even do like crazy editing for that. Might not be no cuts. I might just yap for a little minute. So just bear with me. Like I hope it's decent. I might just yap, but the number one, like actually, it's not ranked, but like these are just 5 most surprising teams. So number 1, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. So far in the season, the Bucks are 1-4. They haven't looked good, if I'm really be honest. In previous years, the Bucks is like calling card, like their real identity of that team has been on the defensive end. And what I've seen from this season, they have no identity. That team has no identity to me. But previously they obviously had Drew Holiday, and he helped bring that defensive identity. But it wasn't just that. At the 2021, 2022, you had Brook Lopez, who was at a DPOY level. You had Giannis, who was at a DPOY level, and you obviously had Drew Holiday, who was also close to a DPOY level. And then you also had Chris Middleton, who was still playing good defense, and they all played good together, which helped them. Like they hung their head on the defensive end, and then the offense at the time also looked better than it is now. But I'm gonna get into that later. But defensively now, they lost Drew Holiday, replaced him with Dame, who wasn't like a premier defender. Chris Middleton obviously has gone through some injuries. He's got older. He isn't the same defender he was back then. Brook Lopez definitely isn't the same defender he was back then when he was competing for DPOY. And then Giannis has regressed slightly, but a lot of that has to do with the pieces around him not being as good defensively, so he can't also be as good defensively. So as a total, like they just haven't been good defensively. I got it up here so far. No, we're only 5 games to the season, but so far the Bucks are the 24th ranked defense. So obviously not good at all. Previously, like if I look at 2023, they were the 4th ranked defense. 2022 they were 14th, and then 2021 they were 10th ranked defense. And then offensively, the Bucks, I don't know what it is, but when I watch the Bucks, the offense, okay. The one thing I really notice about their offense is that Giannis and Dame, I don't see many 2-man actions between them. I watch the game and you'll barely see like a Giannis Dame pick and roll, which I don't understand. Like you have Damian Lillard, who is an extremely good pick and roll player. You have Giannis, who is he's 7 foot, 280, but he's Giannis. Like we know who Giannis is, one of the most physical players in the league, one of the strongest players in the league. You gotta get him setting screens for Dame. Gotta have them playing off each other. These are your 2 best players, but I don't understand. They'd rather have Brook Lopez at the screen and pop out to the 3-point line than have Giannis at the screen and roll to the basket. Which I just feel like, one, I seen them run it, whether it was mostly last season. I saw them run it more last season, but when I saw them run it, it was effective. It worked. Because obviously you have Dame. He's literally one of the best 3-point shooters. You have Giannis, the best finisher in the league. That duo should really, on paper, it looks like they should be the best duo in the league, and they haven't shown it at all. Obviously, Chris Middleton's injured right now, and he would obviously be the 3rd star there to bring. But even when he played last season, he wasn't the same player that we've seen him be previously. Obviously, he has to do with age and injuries, but yeah, the Bucks just haven't looked good so far this season. I think some of that also has to do with, I don't like to hate on coaches. I don't know what that, people blame coaches for a lot of the team's woes, but I don't think Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers are good are a good coaching pair. I'm sorry, I just don't think they are. I know they were the team as a whole didn't like Adrian Griffin, but he was just a much better coach than Doc Rivers from what I've seen. I think you have Giannis and Dame, so I think it will get better. Like, they won't obviously be the worst team in the league, but like looking at their up and coming schedule, they're playing the Cavs next. Cavs are just won tonight against the Magic, and now they're 6-0, so it's not looking good for the Bucks. I think they will get better, but I'm not sure where they move from here. Giannis has said some things about before the season, said like, oh, he might not be in Milwaukee. There've been some rumors that if the Bucks doesn't go well, Giannis might like ask out. Milwaukee needs to tighten up. They gotta fix some things. Maybe change the coach. I wouldn't say change the coaching staff again, because this would be like the third time in like 2 years. But they need some changes. Offense isn't good. Defense isn't good. They don't even I don't know. They just need to change the shit. The number 2 surprising team for me this season, speaking of who the Bucks gonna play, is the Cavs. Obviously, this won tonight against the Magic pretty easily with no Paolo, but this season, the Cavs have looked elite on both ends of the floor. Previous years with JB Bickerstaff, they've looked great on the defensive end. Haven't looked that good on offense. Now with Kenny Atkinson, they've looked great on both sides. So a lot of that has to do with him using Evan Mobley in a different role. A lot of people said this since Evan Mobley since he was a draft prospect, that he's a great defender, but once the offense comes around, he'll be one of the top players in the league, and we're seeing that now. We're seeing Evan Mobley have more actions, more handoffs. He's taking the ball up off the inbound. I saw him take like a pull-up 3 the other day. Like, he's taking a bigger offensive role in that Cavs system, and I like to see it. He's playing good. The Cavs are playing great ball, and they haven't been relying on Donovan Mitchell, which I think is good, because when it comes down to it in those tight pressures, then you'll have Donovan Mitchell ready to perform. So now you got Garland, who last season obviously he lost some weight, like he had something with his jaw. I think he also had some things like outside of basketball, so he wasn't like 100% that season. He had obviously other injuries to that team, but now that you have the team healthy, everyone's like playing great. They were the 4th seed last year. I think with how East is looking, they can easily be the second best, like second seed in the East, probably top 3, top 4 seed in the whole league. So I'm looking forward to them. They've been great both ends. So obviously you have Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. When you have that in backcourt, when you have both of them, that big man pair, probably one of the best defensive big man pairs in the league. You got Donovan Mitchell, All NBA level player. Darius Garland can be an All-Star level player. Evan Mobley, All-Star level player. Jarrett Allen can be an All-Star level player. Like, I'm really looking forward to watching the Cavs. 6-0 right now. Who knows how long they'll go undefeated? But hey, I don't got no script, so I'm ready to just yapping right now. But the third most surprising team for me has been the New York Knicks. Going into the season, a lot of people had the Knicks to look at like the second best team in the league. Brunson obviously was coming off like an MVP caliber season. They went through a lot of injuries in the playoffs, but lost in the second round. But they look good. They replaced Julius Randle for Cat, who Julius Randle didn't even play for like the whole second half of the season. They got Mikal. Like, it was looking up. Like, and so far through 4 games, they're playing right now against the Pistons, absolutely dogging them. Yeah. They just won against the Pistons, so now they're 3-2. But so far, from what I've seen, offensively, they still look good. Although Brunson hasn't been what he was last season, Mikal Bridges has been great. Cat has been great. They've both been shooting great. Even though Mikal was having some struggles when he changed his form earlier in like preseason, he's looked great now. OG's look good offensively. He hasn't like been shooting that well, but he still looked good. And even with Brunson alone, he still looked great, but the real thing for me is the defense. Coming into the season, people were saying that the Knicks team would be a great defense, as like a lot of Tom Thibodeau teams have been great defenses. So far, the defense hasn't looked that good to me, which is a surprise to me. I throw 3-2 right now. Obviously, I think they will like up that record. Probably still end up like third in the East. But when it comes down to it, that defense just hasn't like. I know they're missing some people due to injury, like Mitchell Robinson hasn't played yet, who's a good defensive center. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Knicks over there. But what I do want to talk about the Knicks is Miles McBride. That man's my GOAT, can't lie. Like, he's so tough, bro. Like, just watching him play, like, he could be a starter on a lot of teams in the league, I think. Coming off the bench, so tough. That's unrelated to like the Knicks not being good defensively, but yeah. Third team I want to talk. Is that third? I don't know. Next team I want to talk about is the Nets. Nets are 2-2 so far. They actually just won, so now they're 3-2. No, 3-3 actually. You probably think, well, 3-3. It's the Brooklyn Nets. Like, coming into the season, they were obviously in the capture the flag race. Like, one of the teams looked at to get the number one pick, be the worst team in the league. And so far, they haven't looked that bad, which is like surprising to me. Like under what's his name? It's Jordi Fernandez, their new head coach. Yeah, they haven't looked that bad so far. The offense has looked good. Dennis Schroeder has looked great. Cam Thomas has looked like he wants a scoring title. Like, he's also been extremely clutch, leading the entire league in fourth quarter points so far. Cam Johnson has looked good. Ben Simmons, honestly, has looked good. Like, considering we haven't seen bro play in basically like 2 years, he's looked good. But like, I want him to be more assertive because I know who Ben Simmons can be. Like, defensively, he's looked like an all defensive like level player, but offensively, I need him to be more assertive. But that offense has looked good through these 6 games. The defense obviously isn't there yet, but this is a team that was projected to be the worst team in the league. So for them to be even this mid-table team, like mid-conference team, is a surprise to me. I'm looking forward to see where they go. Like, obviously, I like watching Cam Johnson play. I like watching Dennis Schroeder play. And I don't think they're going to end up being like a top seed in the East. I think they'll probably end up being like maybe 8 or 9. But still, considering like they're projected to be like 15, I think that's pretty good. Probably do one more team, and that's going to be the Golden State Warriors, man. The Warriors have looked, they've looked great. The Warriors coming to the season, especially for me, I were not expecting them to be good. They were the 10th seed last year, barely just made the play-in, lost in the play-in, and then they lost Clay. A lot of people weren't expecting this Warriors team to be good. Coming to this year, and then through these 5 games, Steph Curry hasn't looked like Steph Curry. Like, he's looked decent, but like, we know how good Steph Curry can be. And then he got injured, and can't lie, a lot of people thought it was over for them. They've looked great. The defense on this team, shout out to Draymond, man. The defense on that team has looked elite. A lot of people forget like who Draymond Green really is. Like, he is one of the best defenders of our generation. One of the best, like, most versatile defenders we've seen, and he is anchoring that defense. And even offensively, they look great. Andrew Wiggins has looked good. Buddy Hield. Now, let me already talk about Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is one of the most polarizing shooters in the league for me. Like, you see him on your team. He hasn't been on one of my teams, but like, when he's on your team, at first you're like, this might be the greatest shooter of all time, and then you see him, it's like, bro, it's a bum, like, getting off my team. Like, he's either like, it's either 10 or 0. He's looked like 15 right now. Like, bro cannot miss. Like, he's been sparking it. Like, he's honestly, like, offensively, he's been their best player. Like, he's been so elite offensively. Trace Jackson Davis. Oh my gosh, he's looked great so far. Moses Moody has looked good off the bench. Love to see him. He's shooting 48% from three. Damn, man. Yeah, he's looked great. Podziemski and Kuminga have looked okay, but considering how good the team is, like you wouldn't even like. I thought, looking at the record, you would think those two have been better than they have, but just, I don't even know how they're doing it. Yeah, shout out Andrew Wiggins, Buddy Hield, and Draymond, man. Like those three, they've been so good right now. They're 4-1. I'm gonna be honest, I don't expect them to keep it up. I don't expect them to be a top team in the East. In the West. If they manage to do it, I'm gonna be so surprised, and I'll eat that. I'll hold that. If they're so good, I'll hold that. And yeah, but yeah, that's it. Those are the 5. I think I did 5 most surprising teams so far. Hey, that's just it's been like 1-2 weeks of the season so far. Looking forward to see how the season progresses, and hey, man, yeah, I'll try to come out with more videos for y'all, and hey, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.